Hello, everyone. I do apologize for the technical difficulties. I don't know what is going on with my computer or my internet, but again, I do apologize. Hopefully, it will we won't have any more issues from here on out. I can't make any promises. And I'm sorry again, it took so long, but it takes like about, I don't know, seems like 45 minutes just for my laptop to restart, and then I had to, of course, pull up all the tabs that I had open and ready for the stream. But no excuses. It's my fault. Well, I blame Swamp Lover and Kelsey usually, but I'll take the blame this time. I'm just kidding. Hey Halo, True Crime Analyst, Kelsey, Running Fox, Sean, thanks for being here. Glad you guys found me. So today's stream, we are going to try to finish what I was going to talk about in the last live stream when I had technical difficulties and internet issues. There's a lot of buffering, so I decided to just end the stream, and I ran out of time yesterday, so I apologize for that as well. Apologies all around. Hey, Amanda. Hello, my opinions only. So we're going to finish going over that I didn't get to go over in the last stream, and also some more symbolism that I recently came across. So we'll give it a couple more minutes for some more people to find us again, and then we'll get started since it's kind of late. Oh, good, Amanda, because there's symbolism all over this case. It's overwhelming. It's so right in our faces, and the mockery is just, it's off the charts. These people that are orchestrating these events are just, I don't know. There's no words that can describe them. At least not that any that I can find at the moment. But yeah, it's crazy. But again, I'm hoping that their symbolism will be their downfall, because they don't hide it at all whatsoever. Really, Amanda, that's interesting. Gabby's Law, yep. They're always constantly, whether it be Shanann's Law, Nico's Law, Connor's Law after the Scott Peterson case. Hey, Matt. Hey, Gypsy. Hey, Christy. Yeah, no words. I don't even know what words to describe these people. They don't care about us or anything else. They just care about themselves and pushing these agendas and manipulating the public. So, yeah, no words. And I'm not surprised, Amanda. That's another one of those red flags you have to look out for with these orchestrated events, is when they're just days after these tragic events happen. If they're already pushing for some sort of law or some sort of right to be taken away, that's when you need to take a step back and say, maybe there's an agenda that they are pushing here. Hey, Collins. Because there's always, always, always multiple agendas with these events. So, okay, so since there's a few of you here, we'll go ahead and get started. So just to recap, in my last live stream in part 1, I did go over, hey Lady Salem, I did go over a lot of the symbolism that I've noticed in this case, a lot of triangles, a lot of butterflies. It just, you name it. It's everywhere. You have the officer's tattoo in the shape of a triangle with 3 6s. Literally right there and like not center frame, but I mean clear as day, you can see it. And the majority of people have no idea that they're being manipulated with these events. And nothing wrong with that, Gypsy. Call me a conspiracy. If anybody wants to call me a conspiracy theorist, call me it all day, every day. I don't care. I mean, I don't care for the term, but I'd rather be a conspiracy theorist who, doesn't believe everything they hear and thinks for themselves and asks questions and uses critical thinking, rather than not be a conspiracy theorist who just believes everything that they're told by the mainstream media and the U.S. government and anyone else for that matter, and wants to live in the bubble, their little bubbles for the rest of their lives. That's fine. If they want to be in their bubbles, so be it. I'm not going to judge them, but I'm not going to be one of those people that are going to be manipulated for the rest of my life by these individuals. So that's why I'm doing this, to try to wake people up. So that, less and less people are being deceived every day. So, hey, Hard Eyes. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Emma. Good to see you. Hey, I love Jesus. To be honest with you, I love Jesus. Not lately, but then again, I haven't really, even though I do look up a lot. I've seen like a few, but it hasn't been an excessive amount, which is good, but, I'm sure that'll change in a few days. Hey, FRV. But yeah, that's a whole another rabbit hole in conspiracy. But, so on my last live stream, like I said, I went over the symbolism, and then I wanted to go into a little bit more about this Jonathan Lee Riches person that I mentioned, who, if you guys have seen the Fox 13 news footage, whenever they're saying, "Where's Gabby?" and they're chanting, "Where's Gabby? Where's Gabby?" Jonathan Lee Riches is dead center in that frame, and he's the one that's escalating everything and getting everybody to shout that. And we're gonna get into him a little bit more. I really shouldn't have to do that, but he's kind of important, but then again, not really. He's nothing special. Let's just say that. Hey, Purple. Okay, so yes, I'm back for now. We'll see. So let's get started. I'm super glad that RV Truth, that creator that I talk about all the time, the one who I say is for a long time, who's been doing this way longer than I have, and trying to wake people up to all of these orchestrated events and these the symbolism that they literally put in plain sight. And I know that sounds so repetitive, and if you watch his channel, you're going to hear him say that a lot as well, because it's what it is. We'll say it over and over and over again until people start to really see what's going on. So he did a live stream last night covering the Gabby Petito case. So I was super stoked, and I did put a link in the community page. I know a couple of you did show up, which is awesome. Hopefully some of you guys checked it out later, but I can't stress enough to go to his channel and watch his content, because again, he's been doing this way longer than I have, and he does a great job at it. He has a huge following, way bigger than me. So, and it's important to see that it's not just myself that is trying to expose these cases or these mainstream media events for what they really are. That there's other creators out there as well, and there's other people out there that are trying to do the same. I think I'm just probably the only one in the true crime community itself that's doing it, because I could go, to probably other like conspiracy forums or whatnot, but you know, those individuals are not the ones who necessarily need to be woken up per se, right? A lot of people I've noticed in the true crime community had not even heard of what a psyop was or a false flag until they came to my channel. So it's easy to go and kind of do like an echo chamber to people who are already woken up, but that would be kind of pointless in my opinion. So that's why I'm here in this true crime community, trying to expose these mainstream cases for what they really are. And again, you have to, if you are new to my channel, you have to keep an open mind. I know it's not for everyone, especially with these tragic cases, and they do affect people emotionally. And my purpose is not to offend anyone or hurt anyone with what I talk about. And I hope everybody knows that. And if you're new here, I just wanted to let you know that as well. Okay, enough of my rambling. I want to play, again, RV Truth did a really long live stream yesterday on the case and some other topics as well. But he usually will do he'll do the live stream and then he'll do sort of a condensed version for those that, which is a good idea, for those that don't want to go back and watch the entire live stream. So we're going to watch that. I know that RV Truth has no problem with me playing his content. He's not going to strike me or for any copyright stuff, which is great. Unlike some other channel creators that apparently it's a huge competition with them. So I will, or if any of my moderators can put RV Truth's channel in the chat, that would be amazing. I'd really appreciate it. And we're going to check out that condensed version that he did last night. So he's going to go over a lot of the same symbolism that I already went over, but then of course, a little bit more.
Manly P. Hall, a very famous Freemason. And again, with all the lies, they give us the truth. If you read any of his books, it's you know, to be blunt, it's pretty boring. But within his books, there are going to be Easter eggs that really stand out. So again, you know, you read page after page after page, and then you go to this and you find this, and these are the diamonds in the rough. And of course, Diamonds 33. It is said that wisdom lies not in seeing things, but seeing.
Sorry, I just want to mention, guess who had a diamond tattoo? Christopher Watts. Let's continue.
Through things. And this is very key, very important. And one last quote here, as I've shown so many times, but so very important as we move forward. Again, with Manly P. Hall. When the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, a great veil will fall from the eyes of men. And again, so very key, so very important. With every single one of these news stories, you got to look at the symbolism. And it's always just 33. Okay, so that's just, you know, a little nugget right there to get started. And I found this very interesting with the name Gabby and the surname. And the anagram is basically, you see the I, the pet, and the surname, and the GOAT. So, I mean, it's always there. And these are, you know, those behind the scenes that always give us clues. It's a big game to them. Just like the movie The Game with Michael Douglas. And the interesting aspect of this, where she supposedly disappeared on this date, this very famous date, as we know. You know, out of all the, you know, days of the year, this specific date. And then we know what, you know, again, getting back to Pet Goat, obviously on this date, just like Bush, as you see here, and very, very important in Sarasota, in the classroom. And it's all going to connect as we move forward. And they're doing the search for Brian Laundrie in Sarasota County. So that connection with the pet goat, Sarasota twice, and of course, reading the book, The Pet Goat in Sarasota on this date. I mean, you got to be, again, a coincidence theorist if you think this is some amazing coincidence. Unbelievable. I'm having a little issues here with the screen share. It's freezing, but there we go. So again, the pet goat, identical dates, the location, just unbelievable. Now let's move on here a little bit. And again, the boyfriend, and his name is Brian Laundrie, and it's almost like brain laundry, or when you do laundry or washing, it's like brain washing. Okay, let's move forward here a little bit. Here is the police body cam of Gabby in the police car. And one thing I found interesting, it's about an hour-long footage, and of course, made it play out this way. And towards the end of the video itself, and this is on NBC, and take a close look again. As I mentioned, Manly P. Hall and the symbolism. What do you see? To get a little bit of a close-up, you can see it much better here. Again.
Okay, so remember in my live stream that I did a couple days ago where I was like, I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked. And I pointed this out about the triangles and the 666. So again, it's not just me, crazy old think, right? That's pointing out this symbolism that's literally in plain sight. And again, RV Truth has been doing this for a very long time. And it's not even just in true crime. It's in these mainstream, high profile events that seem to gain widespread media attention, and not only that, but the tragic ones specifically, to really distract people, to pull at heartstrings and push those agendas, whatever they may be. They're all going to have different agendas to cater to that specific event. But usually, as I said earlier, for the most part, it's to either push fear, distract, sway opinions of the public, pass laws, take away rights, and it's why is it that these certain cases over other ones are getting so much mainstream attention? And not only that, but why is it that a lot of them don't seem to add up? They're a circus. They don't make sense. There's a lot of holes, a lot of red flags, and a lot of inconsistencies. But I mean, this symbol was in plain sight for that entire car ride.
It's all in plain sight with the 666. Unbelievable. Now, we're talking about the goat. Okay, let's get back here. The goat. So, it's all about Freemasonry. And what do we have here? And they have these images of Gabby with, of course, you see the angelic wings with the dual moons. And this is definitely representing, as we all know, Baphomet, as we see here. I mean, how clear can it be?
Like I also mention all the time, they love their duality, and the duality in their numbers. Double, just like the reflective images in Gabby's glasses. It's two, double letters, double numbers. Look out for double letters in people's names that are associated with these cases, side-by-side images, things like that. Do you guys remember in my if you've seen my symbolism video that I did a very long time ago on the Watts case, in the Watts home, there is, and I apologize if I'm yelling. Please let me know if it's really loud. I just want to be clear, and because I know that sometimes it's difficult and I might end up mumbling sometimes or speaking too fast, so I don't want to do that. But I just want to let you guys know I'm not yelling at you. So in the symbolism video that I made about Shanann going to Phoenix, you know, the Phoenix bird, the mythological bird that is worshipped by Freemasons and the occult. She flew into Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona is on the 33-degree parallel, so on and so forth. But also in that video, in the Watts family room or entertainment room next to the kitchen, on one on each, there's two on each side of the television, there's those green figurines that are in the shape of Baphomet's staff right here with the two snakes. Do you guys remember that? I sure hope so, because it's very important. So I pointed those out, and there's so many as above, so below references in the Watts case. That in the discovery, it says that one of the girls was found face down in the tanks, and the other one was found face up, which is as above, so below. You have Troy McCoy, who mentions that Chris, you know, goes into detail about what Chris was wearing that day and his new boots, and hey, lovely apples, and how he had one pant leg tucked into his new boot and one pant leg tucked out, as above, so below. So many references to that, as well as occult symbolism in it. The 666 in the there's so many, but these are just a few. Again, 666 in the coordinates of Survey 319. Anadarko's oil stock price on August 13th was 66.6. I mean, you literally cannot make this stuff up, you guys. And I know the symbolism isn't for everyone, but it's like, how many times do these things need to keep popping up over and over and over again in these mainstream events, to where they're not coincidental anymore? You know, August 13th, Chris Watts 33, all of those other numbers, Betty's address numbers adding up to 13. It's just, it's overwhelming and never ending. I mean, these people love their symbolism, and like RV Truth and myself keep saying over and over again, they literally put it in plain sight. And the majority of people have no idea that they're being manipulated by these events.
And there's your dual moons right here, and the angelic wings on Baphomet. And another image, Baphomet with the inverted pentagram, and again the dual moon. So this is crystal clear with the symbolism. I mean, how many times do you see angel wings with dual moons like this? You know, by the way, look at the hands. Look at the length of the hands. Very, very bizarre. And the ripped jeans, I've covered that with my Def Leppard video, where Moses told the sons not to tear their clothes in distress. So they like the torn clothes symbolism, you know, with a lot of course, rock bands, a lot of celebrities, Kim Kardashian, all of them, they have the ripped clothes, ripped jeans specifically. And just another image here, Baphomet, the same, just one's in color, the black and white. The goats go down, the sheep go up, and all the duality, and yeah, it's just all there, all the symbolism, the torch, and you know, somebody pointed out the sheep's head hidden in the knee, you know, and it almost looks like the domed earth that Baphomet's above. Again, just more mockery. But moving forward here, again, more symbolism. And you have the pumpkin. Of course, pumpkins are orange for 33. And the background, you have the monarch butterfly, which many consider MK Ultra. I look at butterflies as more or less, it's a transition, you know, transition out of this world, transitioning into something else. Just like, you know, of course, a butterfly from the caterpillar to the butterfly itself. So it's about the transition. Again, more signs and symbols.
You guys remember all the, hey Jen, do you guys remember all the orange color in the Watts case? Nate was wearing an orange shirt, Broncos, orange flowers in the kitchen, orange, there's that photo of Shanann where it says that Nico is the size of an orange. Orange, orange, orange. Of course, they love other colors as well, like red and black and yellow. It's just, it's over and over and over again.
You know, it's always there. You know, again, no coincidence. And you see in the back, definitely when they took this shot, you know, it's not just, you know, out of coincidence. Everything here is in the back. Let's get a little bit of a close-up of that action. Right? Yeah, here we go. And this is definitely not the peace sign. They love to invert things. And you see the two black crows in the back as well. And basically, this is the cross and arrow. Again, how they take, you know, everybody looks, oh, it means the peace sign. But no, they take something that's bad and turn it into something good. They flip everything. Good for bad, bad for good. And we all know, you know, Nero was Antichrist, of course, with ancient Rome. And again, more of the angelic wings. And there's two things I spotted right away. There's a name, Colleen Miller, more of obviously the artist, and Miller being a 33 name, but the guess, and I covered this, you know, just recently. Of course, when you flip over the guest logo, it's the 666. It's basically an upside down. If you reverse it, of course, you flip it over here. It's a pyramid, obviously. Now, more symbolism. Besides the 666 here with the pyramid, the inner angle is 60 degrees. This T-shirt, of course, being orange. So much symbolism here. The orange for 33. Let me get maybe a little bit more of a close-up. And one of the many supposed places that were visited was Zion, this one outdoor park. We all know about Zion. You have the ram symbolism with the horn deity. And you have the waves, the water, and there's exactly 3. So that's a 6, obviously a 6, and there is the third.
So RV mentions the ram symbolism in Brian's parents' driveway. I talked a little bit about the Mustang and the white horse symbolism that RV Truth also talks about a lot and has also made a video on. And here he mentions the ram, and also in the driveway is a Dodge Ram. And I know it might sound crazy. It's like, okay, it's just cars. What's with the ram? What's with the... But again, when these things keep popping up over and over and over again, how many times does it have to happen for it not to be coincidental anymore? Oh, and another thing he mentioned is how they like to turn symbols or things that are not evil into or represent them as evil. So like the peace sign, or like the name Lee. The name Lee is not evil, but the ones that are doing these orchestrated events and using this symbolism, they are actually evil, and they're making these names and these symbols and these numbers evil. So just like a sunflower is not evil, but it's being represented by evil, like, you know, evil individuals. So
1. So you have your 33 with the orange and your 666, and you know what you get.
See, I didn't even notice the 666 with the with the waves here. So I don't notice everything. I'm sure I might have noticed eventually, but, and I've already showed you guys like a ton of symbolism in this case already. And here RV Truth is pointing out even more. Some of the same things that I pointed out, but also, you know, other ones as well. I also mentioned in my last live stream, yes, my opinions only. That's what I was going to mention in a little bit as well, but I didn't have the picture. I don't have the picture available. I just happened to see it in a screenshot on YouTube. But yes, great catch. My opinions only. Sunflower ring. that Gabby's wearing. I was waiting for sunflowers to pop up. I'm surprised I didn't see any. I saw a lot of regular flowers, but I didn't see any sunflowers. But yes, great catch. So in my last stream, I talked a little bit about Zion and how it's connected to the Star of David, which is also a pentagram, the star in the circle, which is very occultic as well. The simplified language, Basic English, the developer is Charles K. Ogden, and was released in 1930 with the book Basic English, a general introduction with rules and grammar. That's interesting, Hard Eyes, because I do remember them mentioning the Ogden in this somewhere in this story, which is exactly what it is. It's a story. Hey, Crumb Bad. And so I remember the Ogden being mentioned, but also in the Las Vegas shooting, they mention how Stephen Paddock was getting a room at the Ogden as well, or stayed at the Ogden. So I found that very interesting. So thank you, Hard Eyes. That's interesting. I'll look into that more. At the Monarch Butterfly. See what I mean? I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. It's never ending with the symbolism. So again, I'm hoping that their symbolism will be their downfall, because I'm going to say it again, hidden in plain sight, right in front of our faces, straight mockery at its finest.
Right there. So again, these are obviously productions. And again, more of the same with the orange pumpkin. By the way, talking about October, coming up with Halloween, that's the only month of the year that is 33 in numerology. Funny how that works. And just more of the same, the constant theme of the orange and holding of the glass is a Masonic pose. And again, another, she has what, 2 shirts, 1 shirt, 1 sweater with the Zion National Park. And I know people are going to say it's like the firmament. And it sure is. And there's a pyramid-shaped necklace as well. But again, the orange is prevalent as always, and orange being 33. So just a lot of connections being made here. This is maybe a little bit of a shorter screen share, but these are everything you need to see. And again, this one is, again, the anagram. It's I Pet Goat, and the Brian Laundry for brainwashing with doing the laundry. Unbelievable. Everything's in plain sight as always.
Keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us sedated.
Okay, so I wanted to show you guys that, and again, I was very glad that RV Truth did cover this case a little bit and the symbolism, because again, it's important. Hey Scotty, because I wanted to show you guys again that I'm not the only one that's talking about this stuff, and that other people see it as well. And so if you're seeing it, then great, because it needs to be brought to light. Utah is very occultic. I'm beginning to think that everywhere is occultic now, and everything is occultic. It's just it's crazy. But so again, I wanted to show you that, and thanks again everyone for being here, and anybody that just showed up. Please have an open mind if you are listening to this. Again, it's not for everybody, but it is important that people see what's truly going on with these mainstream media events. So, I was watching the Dr. Phil, and I'm not going to play it because Dr. Phil's a real, you know what, when it comes to showing his content, and I don't want to get a copyright strike or claim or whatever and have to deal with all that. So It's not call for an uprising, and there's a couple people that have said that, Autumn, but it's not call for an uprising. It's RV Truth. I don't believe it's the same person. Yeah, Dr. Shill, right? So I was watching, which is really interesting because I would be, in my personal opinion, I would be cautious of any news story that is on Dr. Phil. It's to push propaganda, to sway opinions. He always has his experts on, so that, because everyone's going to believe experts. Like, who is going to believe Think, right? Or Megan J. No one's going to believe me. They're going to believe the experts, because if Dr. Phil has experts, they must know what they're talking about, right? All the experts that do like the body language analysis, like on Chris Watts or whoever. So those shows are really, really, in my opinion, there to one, get the story out even more than the mainstream media does, and to push propaganda. So I would be wary, in my opinion, of any stories that are on Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz or any of those mainstream shows. What I watched, which I think it's kind of strange that they were already on Dr. Phil, both the parents of Gabby. I don't see any sadness whatsoever or emotion. I'm seeing a bunch of saying that they're sad, but again, no emotion whatsoever. And it's just typical of these orchestrated events, and you'll especially see that with crisis actors. But as I was watching it, I noticed something rather interesting. Oh, let me pull that up for you guys. Give me 1 second. And I have to let my cat in, so just give me a couple more seconds. Okay, so similar, sorry about that. So just like in the Watts case, and when I pointed out in my videos and mentioned several times in my live streams, as well as in other channels in the chat, there's several references with the name Lee. It also has a variation with Lee, Li and Lie. Lie is also the English word for lie. So you have Officer, Kate Lyons, North Carolina, with Chris wearing that shirt. You have Cindy Watts wearing a North Carolina sweatshirt, because they like to tell us that it's all just it's fabricated. It's that it's one big lie, pretty much. Because if they tell us that, then they, which they believe in karma, apparently, if they tell us what they're doing, or if they let us know what they're going to do, whether it be through predictive programming or through hidden or maybe not so hidden messages within these events, and we're too stupid to realize it, then that's our own fault. But they no longer have any bad karma on their hands, even though it's a messed up way of doing it. But that's what they believe. So they will let us know in these events, whether it be in true crime, whether it be in a staged riot, a terrorist attack, a school shooting, they will let us know that it's pretty much a fabrication and it's not real. Just like they did with the Watts case, they also did it with the Capitol riot as well. So I noticed this picture that Dr. Phil showed on his podcast, or whatever it is. Let me see if I can, let me zoom in. So, I don't know, hopefully you guys can see that, but in her glasses, Gabby's glasses, is the word backwards, but it's the word fake. I could not believe it when I saw this. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, straight in the reflection of her glasses is the word fake. Because they're literally telling us to our faces that this entire case is a fabrication. It's not real. It's just a story, and they're doing this again to push agendas, and they can legally do it with that Smith Modernization Act of 2012, which made it legal, as I said, for the mainstream media and the U.S. government to make up these news stories, to push propaganda, to sway opinions of the public, and with no liability, zero liability whatsoever, and not have it traced back to the people who are doing it as well. And it really helps when you have all these mainstream media corporations that are all run by the same individuals and companies, really helping to get that narrative out there to as many people as possible, and really push the story out to as many people. Sorry, Crumbad is getting on my nerves. So thank you for taking care of them, moderators. I appreciate it. So, and I was kind of listening, and I was trying to do some research for the case, and I'm glad that I just happened to look over, because I don't know if, I'm sure I probably would have watched the Dr. Phil episode again, but I'm muted. I shouldn't be muted. Sorry, I wasn't muted. I was just trying to I was just trying to report that Mr. Crumbad, whatever troll his name is. So right, where's the muted sticker? No, I'm sorry, I wasn't muted. I was just silent at the moment. So I'm glad that I looked over at the time that I did, and I actually saw that, like, Zav Girl has this thumbnail on hers. Not saying that Zav's connected in either way. I'm just saying that this photo is everywhere. So, it's all over the place, and it's just, again, I cannot believe that when I saw this. I mean, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. I mean, where is this reflection coming from? I know that there's another word underneath that third word is blurred out in this photo, but if you go to Zav Girl's thumbnail of one of her recent videos, there's another word underneath there, and I forgot what it was. But in the center of her, obviously right dead center, clear as day, is the word fake. And they're literally admitting to us that the entire thing is fake. It's a fabrication, and we're being duped. You know, millions of people are being duped by these cases, and the majority of them, again, have no idea. Why am I getting spammed? I have like 31 people in my chat. What's going on here? Yeah, I can't remember Running Fox what the third word is. Again, I don't know why it's blurred out on the Dr. Phil, but I'll have to double check on Zav Girl's thumbnail, because I don't know where this picture is from, but there is another word, and I can't remember what it says. But why would there be a sign reflecting off her glasses outside that says fake, no fake something? Yeah, white columns, exactly. Yep. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. Something I wanted to show you guys yesterday, but the stream ended up getting, technical difficulties with my internet. So, oh, Brian Laundrie's here. Well, would you look at that? So, I don't know what's going on here. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone all the time. But anyway, hey, Vicky. Yeah, exactly, Scotty. I think that the other words don't matter, but that's why it's just clear as day, fake, right in the middle of her her lens. Okay, moving on. So, that was like emerald green glasses too. Hey, Anthony. That was the big reveal or whatever, as far as like the symbolism that I found or whatever, or the, pretty much what they're telling us in plain sight. And and all these pictures that are taken of her, is it like, is Brian, you're here. Are you some sort of like professional photographer or something? Because all these pictures taken of Gabby are just like picture perfect. It seems like professionally done, just like the ones of Shanann. There never seems to be like a blurry picture. Everything's just too perfect. You know what I mean? Okay, so no more Dr. Phil. And of course, if you look at her earring here is also a triangle. Triangle earrings, triangle necklace, triangle mountains, triangle nature background. You have the map of their timeline, and the little character map trees are, little triangles. It's so overwhelming. There's so much symbolism in this case. It's insane. And more to come, I'm sure. So, it just, be on the lookout, because it's overwhelming. So, okay, now I want to talk a little bit about Jonathan Lee Riches, who I mentioned in my last live stream. Not only did I mention him in my last live stream, but I've mentioned him before in past live streams with the Watts case. In my last stream, I mentioned him a little bit because he showed up in that Fox News 13, like I mentioned earlier, if you weren't here. I mentioned him in my last live stream because he's in that Fox 13 news when the police originally go to the house and they're chanting, "Where's Gabby? Where is Gabby?" Right? Clear as day, Jonathan Lee Riches right in the center frame, stirring everybody up, starting the chant. This guy is a professional troll. He inserts himself, which we're going to get into these orchestrated mainstream media tragic events, and pretends to be either someone involved in it or just likes to insert himself. And I'm going to read more about it. But I mentioned in my last live stream how there was a rumor going around at the beginning of the Watts case that there was this guy named Michael Turtle Kelly who claimed to have been married or dating, whatever, Nicole Kessinger. Come to find out, it was a big rumor. Also, it happened to be Jonathan Lee Riches who made up that rumor that started everybody, getting all stirred up with thinking that Nicole Kessinger was actually married. Hey, Christine. Hey, Sophia. So I brought that up in one of my live streams, like I said. and talked about him a little bit. But if you guys also remember that big, huge release, it was all dramatic, right? Where this pretty much tabloid news source was making a big deal about how the telephone calls from the video phone calls of Cindy Watts, Ronnie Watts, and Jamie Watts and Chris Watts were they made this huge reveal of them all, of it being released, right? And everyone made a huge deal about it. Like, oh my God, the recorded telephone video footage of this family having recorded phone calls with Chris Watts, right? So come to find out that this Jonathan Lee Riches that works for this pretty much tabloid, or he's a producer or writer of this tabloid, just so happens to be a part of that whole production. So what are the odds that this guy's popping up again in the Watts case with this tabloid crap being released with this video footage? And not only that, but right when the case starts to die down, this footage gets released. Go figure. Always happens. It's inevitable. Okay, so I'm gonna just crop this a little bit here so that all this crap Okay, so it says, fact check, man wearing MAGA style hat in photo or on stage at Trump rally is not Minneapolis. What did I say? Minneapolis cop Derek Chauvin involved in death of GF, which I'm not going to mention that guy's name. I shouldn't even said the DC name, because that's one of those events where you're just not allowed to talk about on this platform. But it's important because I want to show you guys, or talk about this Jonathan Lee Riches a little bit more, and why he's significant to these orchestrated events. Okay. Is a man wearing a MAGA style red hat that reads "Make Whites Great Again." Now, if you guys watched my last live stream, you'll remember that Jonathan Lee Riches in that Fox 13 news footage, he turns around and it says "Make Jonathan Great Again." What are the odds, right? With a red hat. Red shirt again. Make whites great again in a photo in a Minneapolis police officer who has his knee on GF's neck as F died. No, that's not true. The photo shared widely on social media is of a notorious internet troll who has fooled major news outlets on several instances in recent years. It is not Officer DC, who was fired after GF's death. Another photo of a man on stage at Donald Trump rally and identified in some posts as DC is also not the officer, according to Minneapolis Police Union president. And I can't see the chat right now, you guys, so I'm not ignoring you, but I just want to get through this first, and then I'll look at the chat. Okay. The red hat photo appeared in a post shared on the Progressive American Politics page archived here. On May 26, 2020, the post read, "This is the Minneapolis cop, why can't I say that word? Minneapolis cop DC that killed GF wearing a custom-made hat that says "Make Whites Great Again." And then you wonder why he refused to get his knee off GF's neck, even as G screamed out, "Mama, help me," and wet himself as he suffocated and died on the street. This man is a murderer and should be charged immediately. Hashtag. Okay, so this is a Minneapolis cop, DC that, okay, did I already read that? I did. Okay, so there's a photo. And here's Jonathan Lee Riches, okay? The man in the photo wearing the red hat is not DC. DC is a uniformed officer in the other photo with his knee on GF's neck. The man wearing the red hat appears to be Jonathan Riches, a notorious troll who spent time in prison for wire fraud. The Huffington Post covered Riches' trolling of multiple politicians, including Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. NBC News reporter, Brady Zadrozny reported the man in the MAGA-style hat was Riches, not DC. Please stop sharing the photo of the guy in the Make Whites Great Again hat. It isn't DC. He's a zombie troll. The Facebook image of uniformed DC showing him pinning down GF is from the viral video of the incident in which GF says he can't breathe multiple times before losing consciousness. While the photo was taken down on several Twitter accounts, rapper Ice Cube, whose real name is O'Shea Jackson, still had the photo up on May 27th. Twitter accounts also showed photos of a man on stage at a President Donald Trump rally in October 2019, misidentifying the man on stage as DC, according to Minneapolis Police Union. What you do in the dark eventually comes to light. That's an interesting statement. Dark light. Okay. This is one of the cops who murdered the black man in Minneapolis at a Trump rally. This is a video of the Trump rally. Okay. So I just wanted to, show you guys that. And then also let me pull up his let's pull up his Wikipedia again real quick. Was I muted that whole time? Oh my gosh. Worst streamer ever. Thank you, Anthony. I just saw that you said I was muted. Okay. Where did I leave off? Anyways, bottom line, this guy is a professional troll. He's a fraud. He's a scam artist. Sorry about that, you guys. Moment of silence. I know, right? Thanks, Scotty. So what I pretty much said when I was muted was that, I guess apparently I like to mute myself. I'm already being censored everywhere else. Might as well censor myself, right? Let's go all the way. No, but so what I pretty much said when I was muted is that, what are the odds that this guy that's a fraudster is literally inserting himself into, and causing chaos and confusion in a lot of these orchestrated events? Like him inserting himself into the Mandy book narrative, into the Pulse nightclub shooting narrative, which is also a well-known orchestrated event. Then you have him inserting himself into the Watts narrative, claiming to have been married or with Nicole Kessinger, which caused a lot of confusion and a lot of chaos. And now you have him inserting himself into another orchestrated event on Fox News 13 and instigating people, putting out tweets. What are the odds that this troll is continuing to do that over and over and over again with these mainstream media events that have a lot of red flags, a lot of inconsistencies, and just so happen to be orchestrated? Now, I found it interesting that a certain channel creator, a well-known channel creator, and I'm not going to say any names, but I'm sure a lot of you watched it last night. This is not the first time that this channel creator, true crime channel creator, has had Jonathan Lee Riches on their channel. Why that creator would have a well-known fraud and professional troll on their channel is beyond me. Now, maybe they don't know that he's a professional troll, but either way, if you're going to have people or guests on your channel, it's probably a good idea to vet that person before having them on your channel. Granted, everybody should take whatever any guest says with a grain of salt, do their own research. But again, I would probably not have a fraud on my channel as a guest, or without at least letting my viewers know a little bit of background about the person. Now, again, that was the second time they've had this guy on their channel. There's probably, I don't know, like 1,200 people in the chat last night. About 1,200 people, right? And okay, so you guys want to hint? I know I just don't like saying names. I figured that you guys know who it is because it's a well-known channel creator. So if somebody in the chat wants to say it, great. But I don't like to name drop like that. That's not really what's important about it, but I do think that it's interesting that they would have this person on their channel. So 1,200 people in that chat, and how many people do you think looked up this guest, right? And try to even vet any of the information they're saying, or even see who this guy is? Probably not that many. I mean, this guy is literally known as a professional troll who's known to manipulate millions of people all the time and insert himself into these J is for justice, okay? There. You guys are killing me here. No pun intended. J is for justice had Jonathan Lee Riches on her channel again last night with over 1,200 people. I didn't last long until I got banned from the channel. I don't know if I got banned. I just know that I got timed out. Wasn't going to wait around 5 minutes to find out if I was only just placed in timeout. But I said, look up Jonathan Lee Riches. Look up his Wikipedia. You will know that he's a well-known fraud. Please take everything what he says with a grain of salt and don't believe everything this guy is telling you. Nothing that I said was disinformation. It's all on the internet for anybody to find out. But what's disturbing is that so many people in that chat were believing everything that guy was saying about this case, which can be so damaging to what I'm trying to do. And he's causing people to get stirred up. He's putting out disinformation about the case. And nobody, not nobody, but the majority of people in that chat will probably never even look up that guy's name, right? Look him up at all to see if he's even a reliable source, or anything like that. So I got timed out for it. I probably shouldn't have been so blunt and said, yeah, he's a fraud, but he is. He's, I mean, all the documentation is there. I even think some of his case files are out there. I don't care that much about the guy to look into him all that much. All I need to know is that he's a fraud. And what bothers me is why that channel creator would have that guy on their channel and using and allowing him to put out disinformation about the case. Oh, I wouldn't doubt, Running Fox, that channel is controlled opposition, just like that other bigger channel creator that we're all aware of, that, everyone's trying to take down. Controlled opposition. They put out a little bit of truth with a whole lot of disinformation and steer people in the opposite direction of what's really going on. But again, it can do so much damage with that many people in the chat. Speaking of trolls, what's going on? Like, don't you guys have some other bigger channels to troll? It's so funny. I don't get it. Yeah, totally, Running Fox. I agree. And again, I didn't want to name drop, but so either, and I don't want to say that she knows what's going on, but again, why wouldn't she vet her guests before having them on her show? Just like some of these other bigger channel creators. Hey, Dink. Hey, me, Jamie. Good to see you. Yeah, any of these channels that are getting like interviews from the family members and stuff like that, I would be very cautious of those channels. You're confused tonight. I'm sorry, Sophia. I don't mean to confuse anyone, but I know I'm a little bit all over the place. But it's just, I do these streams and I talk about things as I see them and as they come up. So, but needless to say, I've now been probably banned from another channel in true crime. So I'm on a roll. I guess I'm apparently trying to get banned from all of them. So, if anybody in the chat can verify this for me, who has the last name Schmidt in this case? Is it Gabby's? No, that'd be Petito. There's somebody has the last name Schmidt. Can somebody fill me in on that? Because I don't want to give out any disinformation here. But I remember seeing in the search of the house. The search warrant of the house, it said something about the Schmidts. Scotty, ooh, I know. Hey, Miss Mensa. Okay, well, hopefully somebody can fill me in. I do remember seeing Schmidt, last name Schmidt, with this case. What I did, same thing that I did with the Watts case, I started looking up a lot of names or people that were involved and their names, just like the connection with Lee and the connection with Nicole, all the Nicholas and Nicole names. Nicholas means to conquer the people, and that's what they're trying to do with these events, you guys. They're trying to sway opinions, they're trying to control people, to distract and trick people into giving up their rights with these events. So what are the odds that so many Nicholas and Nicole's popped up in the Watts case, and it just so happens to mean victory of the people or to conquer the people? Just like the name Lee is a variation for the word lie, because it's one big lie. So that's what I'll do. I will. Oh, thank you, Tatum. Nicole Schmidt. Oh, Nicole, another Nicole. Go figure. Okay. Hello, Queen. And so I will look up names, and a lot of times they're gonna have some sort of hidden meaning. So I looked up the name Schmidt. And sometimes it might just be a one-step search. Sometimes you might have to just, go another step or two. It just depends. But they love their names and the meaning behind the names, as well. So, and a lot of what they show with these cases, like I said at the Watts case, a lot of what they showed us, and it's all, most of it is cherry-picked. But the stuff that they did show us or mention, or if it seems like, why did they mention that? That's kind of weird. It probably is because it's important, and they wanted us to hear that. And it all has another meaning behind it. So it says, Schmidt is a common German occupational surname derived from the German word Schmied, meaning blacksmith and or metalworker. The surname is German equivalent of Smith in the English-speaking world. So, what I did is I looked up Schmied, because I don't know, I just thought it was weird. It almost looked like to me like a scheme, But so I looked up Schmied, and I had this pulled up earlier. I apologize. So I went a little bit further. Hey, Roxy. I looked up Schmied. Reminds me of like Schmiegel. It says Schmied is a surname of German origin. Its meaning is derived from the German word Schmied, which is a smith of tin, gold, silver, or other metal. Common variants of Schmidt, Schmidt, and Schmitz. Okay, where did I see that? Or maybe I didn't even have to go that far. Let me go back to Schmidt here. Oh, a lot of Schmidts. I'm not muted. I'm just concentrating on finding that information for you guys. So I can't find it right this second, but I will find it for you guys. So with Schmidt and Smead, it took me to where it says blacksmith or metalworker. Well, it also, if you look up blacksmith, it's also a forger. So look up the definition of forge, and it's pretty interesting, to say the least. So when it leads me to forger, sorry about this. A person who produces fraudulent copies or imitations. So, again, you have Schmidt, which goes to Smead, which is also means blacksmith. If you look up blacksmith, it's also a forger. And a forger is a person who produces fraudulent copies or imitations. So what are the odds that it leads me to that definition, and that this whole case just happens to be fraudulent? It's fake. It's organized. It's orchestrated. It's just a story that we're being told, and the majority of people are just believing it hook, line, and sinker without any idea of what's going on, because they simply believe the mainstream media and what the government tells them, when they should actually do the opposite and try to vet this information and not let their emotions get in the way or cloud their judgment of what's really going on. Oh, and I was going to show you guys the picture of the flip-flops, but I'll do that another time. The shoes in this case is just, it's crazy already. But, so I did want to show you the RV Truth video and show you that he's talking about this case as well, and how it's just another one of those, orchestrated events, and how they love to put the symbolism in plain sight. I wanted to talk about, of course, Jonathan Lee Riches, and how he's a professional troll and a fraudster who is popping up in another one of these orchestrated events to sway opinions and to distract and to cause confusion. And not only that, but then we have the channel creator who actually has him as a guest on her show, and the majority of people in that chat more than likely did not vet this guest or anything, and probably believed everything that he was saying, without ever asking any questions whatsoever. So please be aware of these guests that some people have on. Take everything with a grain of salt. This story is probably only going to get crazier. I mean, it's straight up out of like a movie script, you guys. Like, couple, picture perfect couple, driving cross country together, or they're engaged. All these pictures, they're blogging about it. Then you have domestic dispute that it leads into them being separated, and just so happens to be that they were pulled over right before she goes missing. And it's just how convenient, right? And how convenient that it's all being documented for us. Everything's being released in dumps. Like, here's the search warrant affidavit. Here's the body cam footage. Here's the whole documentation of their journey. Just like Shanann had her profile, her Facebook made profile, and she was on social media to really pull people in and pull at heartstrings and get people emotionally invested in it. And then, of course, you have all the discrepancies and nothing makes sense because it's done that way on purpose. So everyone's confused. It's a distraction. Look what's going on with this case. Don't look at everything else that's important going on in the world, or be distracted so we can push agendas with this case and pass laws or trick you guys into taking some sort of rights away to really push fear, because people are being murdered more and more. And just all of this mainstream media. And again, that's one of those red flags that I tell you guys about all the time. You're going to always see that characteristic when a case gains so much widespread media attention, and within days, that's a huge red flag. Because why is it that only some cases get so much attention when there's so many missing children? So many murders happen all the time. Why is it that there's only certain ones that get so much mainstream attention? And not just so much, but a ton. So keep that in mind. Look out for the symbolism, you guys, because again, they put it in plain sight. And if you know about these operations, and if you stick around with me, and I guarantee you will be able to spot these events fairly easily, because they literally are not hiding it and they admit to all of it. You just have to have an open mind and try to look past that, or get over that cognitive dissonance. So that being said, thank you everyone for being here, and I'm sorry if I did ignore some of the chat. It's hard for me to do the articles and pay attention to the chat as well. I will work on that, but I will continue to do these live streams as this case progresses and as I find more information. So again, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you to my moderators, and I apologize for the technical difficulties earlier. I'll see you guys next time.